All right, all right, all right. What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Monday Halls Live. And man, I'm excited to be with you hanging out tonight. This is Cross Collect Comics, and I'm glad to be here with you tonight. This is going to be a shorter episode, but I'm looking forward to being able to share some of my picks for the upcoming new free comic book day. It's going to be coming up. I'm going to explain that a little bit in just a second. I want to remind you about one very important thing going on here on the channel. This past weekend, I got a chance to chat virtually with Lance Linderman, who is one of the leads for Gold Key Comics. Gold Key has recently been, it was acquired by a group of four guys and they've been working in the comic industry for a while. And so they got together and they purchased they were able to get a hold of, acquire the Gold Key Comics brand. That means the entire, the logo, all the rights that had rested with that company. Really cool story. So that interview is live now. If you're on the homepage of the channel, Cross Collects Comics, you can scroll down and you'll see the creator interview section. You'll see this graphic right here, and it's just a really cool story. And so I'd encourage you to check it out. Listen into what their plans are. You can also, when you go to that video, you can also check out the you can get the link to their Kickstarter, which they're currently running for their first title, which is Boris Karloff Gold Key Mysteries. Very cool stuff. It was so compelling that I went ahead and I went ahead and put my money where my mouth is. I pledged it within the first 24 hours of the campaign going live. They still have a good, I think, about 15 to 18 days left of the campaign, so there's still plenty of time. If you go to the interview on the page, you can check it out. You can watch the interview and you can get the links. So I just wanted to make sure and mention that too, because that is a really cool thing that's going on here in the community. They've made they made big waves when they acquired the brand, and it was really interesting the way that it happened, because he as he told the story, I didn't realize it had happened the way it happened, and it's kind of like a comic fan / collector's dream come true. So really cool story. Go check it out. It's here on the channel, on the homepage, on the creator interview. But hey, let's go ahead and get started, because we're going to be talking tonight is Monday Halls Live, and we're going to be talking about. I'm going to show off a couple of things I picked up at a recent convention, but I'm also going to be sharing about Free Comic Book Day, which is coming up the first weekend in May. It's the first Saturday in May. This year falls on May the 6th. Before we do that, let me go ahead and say hi to the chat and see who we got hanging out here with us tonight. Louis V, what's up, Louis? Good to see you. He said, Carlos. Mary Jimenez, it is good to see you as well. Happy Monday to you also. Amazing Spider Flint, good to see y'all. Glad that you're here as well. My good buddy there, Comic Book Report, good to see you as well. I'm glad that y'all are here hanging out in the chat. Brooklyn Born, what's up? He's like my Instagram hype man, always sharing out the stuff that I've got going on here. Jonathan Dotson, what's up, sir? Good to see you. And Serge Henderson, the same to you. Glad that you're here hanging out with us. We're glad you're here. Tony Stank, what's up? Good to see you as well. Christina Payne, she's hanging out here as well. Hey, it's great to see all of you here. Just excited about the few things that we're going to be talking about tonight. I'm going to be holding it down solo tonight. I haven't done this in quite some time, so I feel like this is a cool thing to be able to just one-on-one with you tonight and just go over some of the stuff. Yeah, some of the stuff that I learned. Also, some cool pickups that I picked up at Pop Culture Power Show. It was a convention, a grassroots convention that happened here in the greater Houston area, and they had some really cool stuff. I'm going to show some of the things that I picked up as well. I showed a bunch of it last week, but we had so much that I said, I didn't even get to show any of the signed prints or other stuff that I got. So I want to make sure and share that stuff with you. Yes, thank you, Christina Payne, for yeah, She-Hulk. Smash the like button. Thank you so much. Yeah, Comic Book Report, excited for Free Comic Book Day, but haven't really looked into what they're doing this year. So excited for the coverage. Hey, here's the cool thing. I saw another YouTuber do it, and I had already had it in the mix. And I said, you know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to share a few of my picks for books. Now, understand, so the whole purpose of Free Comic Book Day is to get people into local comic shops and to get them into comic books in general, into the hobby. It's the coolest thing. I stopped off at one of my LCSs earlier today. Just stopped in to see what books were. I didn't get a chance to see them last week. And saw the comic shop worker talking to a little boy and his mother, and it was just really cool to see a new reader coming in and trying to get, if you like Iron Man and Batman, you really know where to start. And so the guy gave him a couple options because he was going by one with his allowance. And I thought, man, that's so cool to see young people coming into it, and my daughters now, and my son, all getting into it as well. So Free Comic Book Day, this is something that I'm a big fan of. I always do it. Just in a nutshell, for those who aren't familiar with it, it happens. The official Free Comic Book Day happens once a year. There's also a local comic shop day, and then Halloween Comic Fest. And these are all times during the year when retailers will put out free comic books that people can come to. And part of it is that part of the reason they do that is to get people in, so maybe people buy additional comic books. So I always try to buy, at least a couple comic books if I go to a comic shop to get some of the Free Comic Book Day books. It's also important to note that these comic shops are buying these books. Now they get them; they're super cheap. I think it's between 2 cents and 25 cents per comic. It might have gone up a little bit, but they're buying these books to give away for free. So they make a financial investment in it. And there's like T-shirts and caps and all that other stuff that you can get as well. But it's all centered around getting people back into local comic shops, getting people into comic shops, and getting people into the hobby. Now, you know me with my big thing about literacy and wanting people, especially kids, to read, to work those mind muscles out. I love Free Comic Book Day because it's an opportunity for people to come in. And even even people who have been collecting for a while, it's still exciting to go in and pick up some of these books to say, okay, let me try out something new. So the biggest thing that I like, these picks that I'm going to share tonight, it's not an extensive coverage of all the books coming out, but it's the picks that I'm making tonight are ones that I'm genuinely interested in reading and seeing what are they setting up here. Because Free Comic Book Day is also a time when they can put out titles, publishers can put out titles that they're excited about, and they can do that. Let's see. Oh, Green, what's up? Let's see. Okay, my audio is terrible. Hey, y'all tell me, is my audio not good? If my audio is not good, y'all make sure and let me know if you can hear it, and if it's doing all right, or if I don't have my normal microphone set up here. So y'all let me know in the chat if you can hear me. What's up, TM Nerdy? Good to see you. Y'all make sure and check out TM Nerdy's channel. I need to have you on here sometime, TM Nerdy, and hang out with us. So hey, like I said, it's going to be a shorter episode. I'm going to show off a couple of things that I got, and then we're going to do we're going to do the Free Comic Book Day stuff first. So Free Comic Book Day, like I explained, publishers put these different books out, and it's both upcoming books and existing books. And I've got my link put in this real quick. I'm going to show y'all some of the different books. And again, look, I'm not doing these in any particular order. And I'm also not saying, hey, these are going to be the hottest books that are out there, because these are just books that I'm picking based on personal interest. There are, I want to think about 44 different Free Comic Book Day books. I'm only going to be going over about, I think I've told 9 of them. So if you keep that in mind, there's 44 different titles this year that are going to be out. Plus, what a lot of local comic shops do is is they'll put out last year's Free Comic Book Day leftovers, and they'll put one of my local comic shops that has 6 different locations, and they put out like multiple 6-foot tables next to the counter, and the whole thing is filled with free comic books, with Free Comic Book Day comic books. So it's really become like a big thing, and they stock up on them. Okay, so let's get to it, right? All right, so first up that I've got, okay, so this one is kind of interesting to me. Where is my thumbnail or my graphic? Here it is. Okay, so this is called Seismic Stories, and it's from Aftershock Comics. So here's the premise for it. In the small town of Arcadia Heights sits an abandoned house with an open door, daring anyone to enter it. Soon a ragtag band of teenage misfits will do just that and return with a darkness the likes of which this world has never seen. So it's going to be, it features an original prologue to The Darkness We Brought Back. And it's also got an all-new story from the critically acclaimed and much-loved world of Animosity. So that's another thing to keep in mind, is that these books, these Free Comic Book Day books, don't always just have one storyline in them. Sometimes they've got more. Sometimes they've got more stuff going on. And here, I turned down the music just a little bit. Yes, the comic shops still pay for all the books. They do. So Seismic Stories is one of my picks. Because it just sounded really cool. This whole idea of kind of like a horror comic and teens sneaking into a haunted house just had some cool vibes to it. And I said, I want to pick that one up. Going along with the horror, the kind of the horror theme, is, let me pull it up. This is from Archie Comics, The Cursed Library. So it says, throughout the years, we've seen chilling adventures and gruesome outcomes emerge more frequently in various versions of Riverdale. As creatures gathered and teens were corrupted, the town became a hotbed for cruel and unusual events. Yet the question remains, why have Archie Andrews and his friends faced such terrifying tales? Who's responsible for creating these dark worlds, and how is babysitter Jinx Holiday at the center of it all? A story years in the making starts here. Beware the Cursed Library and all the horrors within. So this is exclusive original material. So the listing I have here says that it's exclusive material, not published elsewhere. So you have to get it in this one. The same thing for the Seismic Stories that I just shared. Those and what that means is it's not sometimes Free Comic Book Day books are reprints of stuff that you've already paid for, and so it's basically just a different version. Sometimes not even a different cover. Sometimes it's like almost like a facsimile. But these two that I've outlined are original materials. So the only place you can read these materials is in the Free Comic Book Day edition. Next up on my list, let's see, is okay. So this is kind of a cool take on something. Here it is. So Boom. There's not a cover for this one released as of right now. So this is Ranger Academy. So it's the promo blurb for it is, it's time to enroll in a bold new take on the Power Rangers mythology in this Free Comic Book Day special. Class is in session for the start of an epic saga that is sure to delight longtime Rangers fans and provide an excellent jumping on point for brand new readers. So this is preview material, which I think what that means is it's just material that it's a little taste, but it's not going to be the whole story. It's just kind of a first look at it. And so the cool thing about that, I like the idea of kind of the academy feel. We've seen Gotham Academy, we saw Strange Academy. We've seen, all the way back to the X-Men was originally a school for gifted and talented youngsters. So this academy feel has been around for a while, but it's cool to see them doing it in the Power Rangers universe. And the thing I like most about it is anytime they can provide a new jumping on point, that's pretty cool to me. So that's something. Yes, Southern Comic Geek, still Paul's fault. All right, yeah. El Green, I'm telling you, the Archie book looks kind of cool. I wasn't so sure about, because I don't generally read Archie, but I thought, okay, this is kind of cool. So I'm a little bit, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So next on my list, there's an Umbrella Academy book that I'm not looking at. Red Sonja, Dogman and the League of Misfits, Star Trek. There's a Star Trek crossover. Fish Flies. I don't even know what that's about. Kodansha All Ages Gold Sampler. Not really into kind of the manga feel. The Spider-Man Venom #1. There's going to be another one of those. Again, I don't really do as much with modern Spider-Man and Venom. Okay, so the next one I had up was Avengers X-Men. So this issue features a pair of all-new stories that set the stage for the next evolution in mutant adventures, Fall of X, and introduces an uncanny new lineup for a new team book launching next year, plus a preview of Jonathan Hickman and Valerio Schiti's upcoming mystery project. I'm not sure what that one's about, but this is kind of cool. I'll dip in every once in a while to modern Avengers and X-Men, but I'm more of a bronze to copper, like copper to bronze guy when it comes to both of those titles. That was my sweet spot growing up. So I don't really get into as much of the new stuff. But hey, that's one. I know, I think last year's was actually a first appearance, and it's like a $15 book now. So it might be worth something. Okay, so this is one that's really interesting to me because the rights for Conan reverted earlier this year. So Titan Comics has a Conan free comic book day book. So I'm looking forward to seeing what this is. All right, it's created by the team behind the new ongoing series, Jim Zub, Roberto De La Torre, and Jose Villarrubia. On the eve of his first major battle, young Conan of Cimmeria pictures a life beyond the borders of his homeland and yearns for a life of adventure undreamt of in his small village. Visions of future allies and unspeakable evils he will eventually encounter throughout his fabled career fill his mind as he makes the choice to take his first fateful step into the Hyborian Age. So now, keep in mind, this is a mature title. Okay, so FYI, heads up, don't let the kids get this one. But this one is original exclusive material. Again, that means that you can only find this story content in this edition or in this particular comic book. So, I'm kind of getting back into some of these classic characters. You know that I've been a Zorro fan for a while now. Well, Conan, Tarzan, some of these other characters have started to kind of think, okay, this is kind of cool. I'm interested in seeing what they're doing with him in comic books. And I had a chance to interview David Pepos, who just wrapped on Savage Avengers on the 2nd volume. And he was telling me about Conan and how that had happened and the rights were reverting, and so they kind of wrapped that version of that team. So I'm interested. I'm interested in seeing. I think there's also like a ratio. Now they have ratios of free comic book day books. So I think there's a ratio for this one, but really I'm just looking to grab it to read, not necessarily looking at it for the collectability per se. So yeah, this is going to be Titan Comics, Conan the Barbarian. And it'll be a sneak preview. Then there's one Xiaojin X. Okay, next one I had here, Animal Castle. So Animal Castle, I picked up volume 1 and had started reading it. Really, really great stuff. Very dark, but great stuff. So volume 2, they are introducing I guess the next round of Animal Castle. So this is the premise for it. The Animal Castle Free Comic Book Day edition will include an all-new 12-page excerpt from Animal Castle Volume 2, Number 1, as well as an 18-page excerpt from Animal Castle Volume 1. So you'll be able to see what's come before and what's coming next. Animal Castle Volume 2 picks up shortly after the events of Volume 1, with Miss B trying to convince the animals not to give in to violence in order to put an end to Silvio's reign. At the castle, the dictatorship continues. Thanks to the efforts of Miss B and her friends, the animals attempt to remobilize the pacifist movement of the Daisies. But Silvio, the bull dictator, is trying to keep them under his hoof to keep his power. Helped by his cruel canine militia, he decides to have the rebellious animals imprisoned in the dungeon. But Miss B and her friends will respond once again with trickery and solidarity. Okay, so the rating on this one is teen. Remember, it is a darker story, even though it's animals. And this is reprint and preview material. So that means there's nothing exclusive in this. This is a kind of nice transitional piece to get people ready for Volume 2 as it launches. I had tapered off on Volume 1. I just kind of, I like a good animal comic book, but it's hard for me to stick with it if there's like, if animals are hurting each other and stuff like that. I know it's like, nature and all that. But yeah, it just kind of, I'm like, soft-hearted like that. So next up, I have here. Okay, so this is kind of cool because I didn't see this one coming at all. It's kind of interesting. All right, so Tom Holland's Fright Night. So this is coming from American Mythology Productions. They had also published some Zorro comics, so I did pick up some of their stuff. Welcome back to the world of Tom Holland's Fright Night. The 1985 film delivered a world full of horror, humor, and heart that captivated audiences and became an instant vampire classic. American Mythology is proud to celebrate the story of Fright Night with this incredible issue that continues the tale after the original screenplay ends and gives a first look at the brand new Fright Night Origins series. Origins is written by Holland and delves into the official history of our favorite sweater-wearing, apple-eating vampire, Jerry Dandridge. Adapted by James Kuhoric and illustrated by legendary comics artist Neil Vogel, this new series is the perfect addition to every Fright Night fan's collection. The issue will also feature behind-the-scenes extras and artwork only available on the pages of the Free Comic Book Day special edition. So let Free Comic Book Day introduce you to the terror of Fright Night comics. So this is kind of cool and just kind of feels like it came out of nowhere, but I understand what American Mythology is trying to do. They're trying to get some properties and get some, as a brand new as a newer publisher, they're getting some properties going, and that's kind of a cool. So hey, Spider Girl, thank you so much for doing that. Great night, people. Stay cool. All right, thanks for stopping by, Spider Girl, and thank you for the super chat. Hey, just a quick reminder for those, if you want to support the channel. One of the ways you can do that is through super chats and through giving these little, monetary gifts during a live stream. That's a great way to support the channel. Also, now, as you'll notice, if you click over to the store tab on the here on the channel, I do have some merch available that's for sale. I went ahead and ordered one. It's through a fulfillment house, so the channel doesn't keep as much of it. That's why the prices are a little bit higher. But I am going to be doing some merch for those who end up opting to be channel members as well. And we're going to get to that, but just stay tuned because channel members is something I'm going to be announcing soon, probably next month. But thank you for that, Spider Girl. Much appreciated. Yeah, El Green, I agree, man. There's some really cool stuff going on here. I'm very interested in this Fright Night one because it's just so random. Like I was like, where did this even come from? I didn't know they were working on this or that this was something that was on the horizon, but it's just cool. And yeah, I mean, it's look at that. It's really gruesome what's going on there. It's got all the characters I remember. So I'm definitely going to pick this one up to be able to check it out. Yeah, it just looks like a lot of fun. So let's see what else is next. A lot of books. Like with 44, I was just like, man, I'm not going to be able to get all these. Okay, so Mech Cadets. This is one I had not heard anything about this either. So apparently this is reprint material. It's from Boom Studios, written by Greg Pak. So ahead of the highly anticipated premiere of the Netflix animated series, returned to Skycore Academy in this exclusive reprint of the first issue of Mech Cadet U. It's the perfect time to revisit this iconic story by best-selling writer Greg Pak and fan favorite artist Takeshi Miyazawa. So it's all ages, but it is also reprint material. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, this looks like a really cool one. I'd keep an eye out for it. It's big, I guess big robots smashing each other. So yeah, it looks like a cool thing. Yeah, no, it was a great movie. The first one was phenomenal. I remember I was terrified by it. I mean, it was funny, but I was terrified by it. I don't really remember much about Fright Night 2. And then the remake, I was kind of like, well, the remake, it's a remake. So, so some of these movies, they're a whole big chunk of their charm is the fact that they came out in the era that they did. So I don't know that remakes are all, but I mean, Hollywood's business, they got to do their business. So, all right, we are wrapping it up here on my picks. I don't have many more. I just have a couple more here to share real quick, and then I'm going to show off some stuff, and then we're gonna wrap it up for the night. All right, so this was kind of random, but it looked kind of cool to me. Mexikid, a graphic memoir. So this is the Free Comic Book Day version of this. It's preview material for a graphic novel coming out. So here's the it's written and drawn by the same artist, Pedro Martin. Pedro Martin is an American-born Mexican kid who's always felt not quite Mexican and not quite American. I can relate. Now he and his family are piling into their Winnebago to bring his mysterious Mexican Revolution-era abuelito, that's grandfather, home to live with them. The graphic memoir details Pedro's road trip of a lifetime full of laughs and heartaches and a new understanding of his abuelito and himself. This just kind of gave me some warm fuzzies because I remember going to see for me, it was Abuelita down in the Rio Grande Valley here in Texas. San Juan, Texas, and McAllen, Texas, and going to see her there. And we used to, for short, we used to call her Wella. And so we would go down and see her, and we would see our aunt, my dad's, the rest of his family that was living there. And so this just kind of, has there's a little bit of nostalgia to it. I really hope it's not like some kind of like political statement thing or like a pandering thing. I've spoken about that before. I don't like, while I do like to read and support and collect characters that reflect me and my family, I don't like pandering, and I don't like stuff that tries to message at me. I just want a good story. I want good characters that I can care about. So that's what I'm hoping for this one. I don't know. I'm not familiar with the writer, but I'm very much going to be looking this one up and checking it out because I think I think there's some cool potential with this one. A lot where El Green is still stuck on the 80s movies. Yes, that's very much true. A lot of them were. All right, so I think I've just got one more, and this one's going to be a crowd pleaser right here. I'm not covering the Madballs versus Garbage Pail Kids #0, even though that looks really funny. Let's see. There's a bunch of. Let me get to this. Man, there's so many. Okay, here we go. All right, so this is one that I'm definitely going to be looking at. So I was a fan of them growing up, but I haven't collected any of the comic books. It's not a big one for me. Not going to be collecting any comic books for them. I just wanted to pick this one up to kind of see where stories were at. So this is the Free Comic Book Day, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from IDW. And so it says that in 1987, the world at large was introduced to the TMNT by way of a catchy theme song and an action-packed cartoon, shell-shocking the world into an era of turtle mania. Since then, the characters have appeared in countless comics, a multitude of animated series, and several motion pictures. Turn the nostalgia meter up to 11 this Free Comic Book Day and revisit two fan favorite eras of TMNT animation in comic book form with this special presentation of stories from IDW's smash hit Saturday Morning Adventures and the recent small screen venture Rise of the TMNT. This is all ages, and it's also preview material. So I think I covered it on a previous episode of Monday Hauls. This Saturday Morning Adventures line that IDW has been publishing, including G.I. Joe previously, which I loved. It was like reading an episode of the cartoon series, which was amazing. And then previous to that, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles had come out. And these are miniseries. They're like 4-issue miniseries that were released by IDW. And they have their own branding, and the artwork and the dialogue is very much mimics the cartoons, the feel of each of the cartoons. They really do. They were able to capture it, and it's kind of amazing that they did. Well, right now, they're releasing the Dungeons and Dragons one, if you remember that cartoon series from when we were growing up. So this is for a certain era. If you're in like my age range, this is gonna be right up your alley. Like if you were into Saturday morning cartoons, and if you're in my age bracket, you are going to love these. I think it's different than the continuity for all these different properties. These are standalone tales that are about 4 issues in length. But if you're in my era and nostalgia is your thing, or if you found the cartoons, like my daughters who are 8 and 9, they are obsessed with G.I. Joe right now. They're watching all the original series episodes with me. That's kind of become our thing, which I never would have guessed that would be a thing, but it's now a thing. So check it out. I do recommend the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as well. And that is the last of my recommendation. Well, no, actually, it's not. Let me get you to the last one. Okay, so this is the last one. Shadow Man: Dark Legacy. Oh wait, no, Sacrifice. I need to do Sacrifice. Hang on, let me find Sacrifice. There we go. Oh, I have like 3 left. Oh my gosh. Okay, I promise I'll hurry up, guys. Sacrifice is number 1. This one really caught my attention. It's because it's by Rick Remender. And it's Tomorrow is a Harmonious Paradise thanks to the careful oversight of 5 families who make everything perfect for the price of 1 child per household. Now, as that bill comes due, a son expected to give everything for a family that never loved him, and an affluent daughter determined to destroy utopia must unite to end one generation's unnaturally protracted reign. Best-selling writer Rick Remender, my son's a big, huge fan of his, joins forces with the insanely talented Max Fiumura to take you through the dark science fiction world of the Sacrificers. Get an advanced look at 2023's most stunning new ongoing series with this free Comic Book Day special. The rating for this one is teen, and you can see the artwork. Artwork looks really cool, and the premise, I'm really feeling it. So, and this is preview material though, so it is material that's going to be released in the ongoing series. But the Sacrificers was one of my picks. Just sounds like a really cool premise, and I'm really interested in reading it. The next one that I wanted to look at was, where is it? Okay, this is Crime Buster. Pull him up. All right, Crime Buster. Chuck Chandler grew up under the wings of his loving parents. His father was an amazing investigator, and his mother an equally brilliant chemical engineer. While Chuck didn't have as much time with his father as he would have hoped, the skills he learned, coupled with a keen eye for mystery, have become a part of his very DNA. That's why when the Borealis attacked Earth and his mother was declared missing, something just didn't sit right. Now, with the help of some young allies, Chuck Chandler plans to unravel the mystery by pulling on every thread. Let's just hope everything doesn't unravel before he solves it. This is another all-ages title, and it's exclusive original material, meaning like I shared before, this is the only place you can find this material. So I want you to make sure and check that out. Hey, welcome to those who are joining us. If you haven't, the Sacrificer cover is pretty cool. El Green, I'm pretty taken with it. So I'm looking forward to picking one up. David Dotson, good to see you, buddy. glad that you're here. Those are, let's see, and then I've got, okay, now's my last one. Oh, that one even looked cool. Yeah. There's so many good titles that, I mean, with 44, there's something for everybody. No matter what you're into, there is something for everybody. Yeah, I'm just looking at all the ones I didn't. Okay, so this is from Valiant, and this is the Shadow Man comic book. So Shadow Man, Dark Legacy. Right? From legendary Shadow Man creator Bob Hall, Valiant's free comic book day Shadow Man news story delves into the secret past of Valiant's premier horror character. It also includes an inside look at the 2023 series Exo Manowar Unconquered from the acclaimed writing team of Becky Cloonan and Michael W. Conrad, who also has material in the upcoming Boris Karloff Gold Key mystery series from Gold Key, and award-winning artist Liam Sharp. So this is exclusive original material, and it does have a teen rating. And look, I'm just going to be honest with y'all. I generally don't pick up a lot of Valiant books, but this cover looked stellar. And as soon as I saw it, I said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and grab this, and I'm going to read it. I don't know if I'm going to like the story, but this cover in and of itself is amazing. Yeah, it just looks really cool. So okay, other ones that I would recommend. This is I didn't pull all the artwork. There's always an Overstreet guide to comic collecting that's released on Free Comic Book Day. If you're new to comic collecting, I recommend picking one of those up. And then where's the last one? I don't have a graphic for this one again. West of Sundown. And what happened to mine? Okay, I think West of Sundown. Yeah, check it out. I don't have the premise thing looked up. Okay, so let me show you a couple pieces of artwork, and then we're going to wrap this thing up. This episode did go a little bit longer. Yep, not a lot of Valiant books to pick up these days. That's true. That's very true. But there's always Trek number 1. You can always pick up some of those. So I went to Pop Culture Power Show. I showed off all the books that I got, but I didn't show any of the autographs or prints that I picked up. So as you know, there were various comic book not comic book. There were voice actors from several different properties there, or from a couple of different. Really, it was really like a G.I. Joe reunion type of thing. But I did go ahead and get. This was a really cool frame grab. I wish I'd gotten the voice of Destro to autograph this as well, but he was in a pretty bad mood when I went by for a signature. So this is Zartan, Destro, Baroness, and Dr. Mindbender. It's now autographed by Zach Hoffman, who played Zartan, who's the voice of Zartan, and then Morgan Lofting, who was the voice of Baroness. So this is just an animation still, print from the screen or from one of the episodes. I think it was from the movie actually. One of the times they went into the snow. So Destro, the voice of Destro, he did sign this one for me. It's not the highest quality print, but it is what it is. So he went ahead and signed this one. That's a cool piece of art from Destro. One of the so I went ahead and got 2 prints from Andrew Wildman, who's an art. The guy's got a lot going on. I'm going to try to get him on here to talk about some of his original graphic novels, which are really intriguing. So here's Optimus Prime. And I had him autograph it in a blue paint marker because I thought that just looked. This was one of his art prints, and then I had him sign in red his Megatron art print. So I'm going to get a little custom matted frame piece done and have the 2 of them in the same, framed in the same piece with a mat. And so I'm looking forward to doing that. Now, I've been getting into more prints and stuff and getting autographed prints. Last one, this is kind of one of my favorite pickups from the weekend. because I really didn't pick up very many comic books at all. This was a print that was at Larry Hama's table, and I had not seen this before, but I was really taken with it because just really cool. It's just really cool. So this is the secret base that's called the Pit. That's the headquarters of G.I. Joe. He had this print there that is the entire Pit structure, and it's like it's got stuff redacted out of it, out of the bio stuff for it. So I'm gonna show it real quick here, but I'll show this. So he signed it down here. That's his signature there, and I'll show this. You can just see some of the detail going on in this piece. Really cool. It's a really neat print. It was expensive, but I mean, I felt like, hopefully I'll get to do another, go to another show with Larry Hama to get some more G.I. Joe books signed. But, just in case our paths don't cross again, I just thought this was a really cool one worth picking up. So yeah, so this was nice. Yeah. So just wanted to share those with y'all because I hadn't gotten a chance to share them last time. And that's pretty much it. I don't really have any new comic book pickups because most of the stuff that I got was all based on, it was all just stuff that I'd gotten signed last week, and just had a couple of extra books that I picked up. And like I said, I haven't been to my LCS this past week. So thank y'all for being here. Thank y'all for hanging out and spending this time with me. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up right now, but I just want to say thanks to each of y'all for watching. Make sure, like I said, if you haven't watched the creator interview over on the channel with Lance Linderman from Gold Key. He's one of the 4 owners. Really cool guy. He's got a lot of stuff going on within the world of comic books. So just really neat to get to chat with him. So go check that interview out. It's under the creator interview tab, and then you can keep an eye out because on Wednesday we're going to have an episode of the giveaway show, and we're going to be talking about, that's right, what everybody else is talking about is Nintendo. Super Mario Brothers came out, and it has just demolished the box office. It is a huge hit, making a ton of money, and it has become a huge crowd pleaser. So on Wednesday night, we're going to be talking about some comic books. In the meantime, I'm going to make sure and link my top 10 80s 80s cartoon comics you should consider picking up, because that's got some of those books. I'm also going to put together a top 10 Nintendo comics list for y'all, because man, now, yeah, all Nintendo books are going to skyrocket. Some of them are already pretty pricey, but they're gonna start going up. And we're gonna. I think people have coined it the NCU for Nintendo Cinematic Universe. I think we're going to see a lot more Nintendo, especially after the runaway success of this film. And it was a crowd pleaser in a time when some of these bigger brands are not really paying attention to what the crowd wants. They're not listening. They're not providing a good story with characters that we care about. But Super Mario Brothers did that, and so it's really cool to see it doing so well at the box office. It's an unprecedented success story. So we're going to be covering that on Wednesday, and then keep an eye out on Friday because I'll be dropping another top 10 video for you. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed yet by now, I'd invite you to go ahead and do so. This channel is focused all on comic book related content. We don't do sales. We don't do these other types of stuff. That's other channels do that stuff well. Here it's all about focusing on the love of the hobby and just talking about it, having good discussion, and creating content around comic books in the world of comic books. So as the channel continues to grow, I look forward to us having more and more interaction, more and more cool ways that we can just gather around this hobby. So talk about the Nintendo. Yeah, yep, yep, yeah. You know, it's called crowd pleaser for a reason. It's called a crowd pleaser for a reason. And yeah, I mean, it's, you know, at some point they got to start paying attention. You know, I mean, it's like, okay, you know, yeah, it's, I mean, you know, it's at some point they're going to have to pay attention and give people what they want, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with stories that excite and please the audience. And we've seen that in some strong property over the past couple of years. You know, we saw it in Ghostbusters Afterlife. We saw it in Top Gun Maverick, and now we're seeing it in Super Mario Brothers. You know, people turn up when a movie is a crowd pleaser, when a movie delivers, and it's got a strong and it's all about a great story and great characters, and lets all the other stuff just, you know, just kind of dissipate. So anyway, so hey, thank you all so much. Surge, okay, here's the thing. I haven't seen it yet because we were busy with weekend. We had a lot going on this past weekend. So we haven't seen it yet. I do want to take the littles to go see it because I know they'll love it. So yeah, so thank you all so much for tuning in tonight. And yeah, you guys have a great night, and I will be catching up with you. I'll catch up with you. I'll see you on Wednesday. Okay, make sure you're here on Wednesday. Thanks so much for being here tonight, and I will see y'all. I will see y'all later. All right, take care.